Yo guys, good day. This is another blessed day. Today is Wednesday, so I've not been able to take a trade since Monday. I couldn't get a trade. I couldn't get a trade. I've been active. I couldn't get a trade. So on my watch list, the only trade I have currently running on my 25K FundingPips account is this GU. And it's actually funny that I'm still looking forward to sell GE after everything that GE has done to me. So I'm currently on this sale at the moment, and this sale is currently retracing back. So I waited for the close. I've been waiting since Monday. I've actually gotten my confirmation right from here for the sale to happen, and I've been watching it since Monday, the close of the beginning of New York opening. So I've been active looking at this G because I wanted to sell. My buyer has always been sell, and that's why I got bounced a couple of times. So I actually waited for proper structure this time around, but everything is about on probability. Everything is probability. So I actually waited for proper structure, and which I actually, as far as I'm concerned, I think I got that structure here. These supply here. So and I'm also skeptical about this demand zone. That's why I've not been able to engage this sell for a while now. This demand zone here. I've been skeptical about this demand zone, so that's why I didn't engage because there's not how I want to target my trade. How this demand zone is not going to actually cause an hindrance. So I actually watch it being flipped as projected because I do say I'm looking for exhaustion for my buys and I'm looking for impulsive movement of myself. So watching these exhaustion on the buy, seeing these impulsive movement on the sell, these exhaustion on the buy again, being it this demand zone, being it this demand zone, then getting my sell impulsive movement here. But I could not engage the trade. So getting this flip zone this particular week here, reacting on this breaker block because I actually look forward to entering this trade from a breaker block. So if we go, let's go on the chart, let's see if we understand better. So yeah, this on 1 hour, I think it's even more clear on 1 hour. So this other block here mitigated my demand zone that I actually have here that was supposed to be respected. So since then we have been in this range. We have been in this range and it has not been able to make me to take any trade on this pair for myself. But sincerely watching, so getting this sweep, all this IA and stay in this range because when we take out this range, then that means my setup is now violated. But we didn't actually get the sweep of this. So instead, I was waiting for the close of this last candle for me to engage myself. So which I eventually got from the close of 1 hourly candle and even on 4H, I can see practically call it a break of structure, even though it looks slim. uh, I can still call it a break of structure. I can still call it a break of structure. So yeah, which means I'm good to go for myself. So I just enter myself, risking my 1%. But because by the time I was going to enter the sell, the trade has moved a bit. So and initially this trade is just positive. So if I'm going to be risking my $250, that's just going to be approximately 0.62 lot size. So, but because the trade has moved, it be so I was risking is like I'm risking $200 now on this trade. So let's say I close. I hope this actually be our winning trade for the week. I've been holding on, sitting on my hands, waiting for setup to happen. So I could have actually gotten on the trade on US oil. Yeah, there was a trade I could have gotten on US oil on Monday, but because of my draw of liquidity, that's why I could not engage that trade. I think network is actually bad at the moment. Yeah. So I got the confirmation here. You know, in our last video, I said I still believe on this US oil buying. Yeah, I still believe on it buying. Even though it later spiked me down. If I had taken that last week's setup, I would have hit L on this setup, obviously. But the market opening on Monday, we actually got a confirmation. I actually look forward to see how this zone is going to hold the price, and I was able to get a good push. I was able to get a good push, and seeing this confirmation also happened on Tuesday. I will have taken the trade right here. Here is the screenshot above. But seeing the confirmation on Tuesday. But why I didn't take this setup was the fact that this is actually my best draw on liquidity. This level here is actually my best draw on liquidity. Or this is my best draw on liquidity, and this is my second best draw on liquidity. But if I'm to use the second draw of liquidity, this trade is just going to be almost, let's just say, too high. And it's not really I can't really bank on wasting my money on this. So that's why I just choose to stay out of the trade because even if you look at it, you see that I was just targeting just strictly 3 hour, which obviously the trade will have almost hit my take profit. I didn't even know it's going to do as much as this because on daily time frame, this is where I was looking at. This is my second draw on liquidity. You can see this is my second draw on liquidity, and this is my first draw on liquidity that I was damn sure that okay, if at all market was going to buy, it will at least get to this, at least get to this first one before the second one. But it happens that it tap into the second one, and this one it's still possible you can eat it. It's still possible you can eat it because on a higher time frame, oil is bullish. On higher time frame, oil is bullish. So that's all for now. Thank you guys. So honestly speaking, honestly speaking, G has really traumatized me. G has really traumatized me, and I think after today, I might eventually leave GU for a while. I currently close my GU buy on this trade because I felt like GU was actually going to buy. I think he's going to buy because after my entry here, right here, after my entry right here, and this spike up. So seeing this, I felt like I believe it's just coming back to mitigate my other block here because I think this GU is just going to mitigate my other block here. This is another block here for the buy continuation. So I feel like this is what is going to happen over GU. I've been burnt. I think on this my account, I'm like let's just say I'm like almost let me just say 4.5 half drawdown, and this GU I've contributed about, in fact I can say about 3.5 out of the drawdown as concerned as pertaining to the account. So GU has really traumatized me. So seeing this impulsive movement, I really don't expect this impulsive movement. This is actually quite surprising on GU. But since the impulsive movement happened and I'm getting this, so my mind is telling me that market is just probably going to mitigate this other block here. Because obviously it makes sense to say this is now a sweep. So if market mitigate this other block here and this candle on 1 hour, if this candle closes bullish, because I actually closed this trade. I said I was risking $200. So so it was easy for me to close this trade at like $75 loss. So which means I still have like 75 minus 250. So I still have like $175 to risk in order to make it 1 hour. So which means if this trade actually closes bullish, this candle, or if it actually mitigates this other block here and it actually closes bullish, then I'll want to risk the remaining less than 1 hour on this trade, on this buy trade. So and if it doesn't closes bullish, it still closes bearish, I'll just have to take my loss that I checking out of the trade. But my speculation is that this other block is going to be respected because I think it's want to make sense that on daily time frame, consider correlation too. I want to believe that on daily time frame, this pair is still willing to come and test this new high. It's willing to come and test this the former high. So let's just we keep waiting. I'll keep waiting for more price action. If it actually closes bullish, I will engage. Good day, guys. So today being Saturday, it's really amazing to realize that my recording for Thursday and Friday, the audio was not enabled. I don't know what happened, but while editing it just now, I realized that I couldn't hear anything, and which means I have to record everything all over again, and that's really painful. But then, yeah, let's get to it. So in our last enabled audio, so we talked about GU, about trying to look for a buy. So because I closed the sale, so let's go back to it. So this was it here, and it happened that it really happened that I engaged the buy and I got burnt. Trading is really crazy. It's really crazy. So yeah, it gave me what I want. I said I was going to engage the buy if I get a impossible momentum. So if I've taken my time to close the sell here, I might have eventually close my trade at break even, which I didn't. So I closed around there. So I was looking for impulsive expansion. In fact, I had to wait for market in the middle of the night. I think around 3 a.m. Yeah, around 3 a.m. or 4. That was when I engaged the buy. Or not on this transaction account, but on one of my accounts that I was willing to risk the amount. I took the buy, hoping that regardless, it SL on my buy. It SL on my buy. That's really annoying. It's not as funny as this is because I've been waiting for this sale for a very long time, and it happened that technical wise, it happened that I bounced out, or probably, yeah, let me just call it technical wise. Regardless, That was a big mess. A big mess. So the sell projection is not even going. I think it's probably like 1 hour now, and I'm not on this. I'm not on this sell. I'm not on this sell. So I close all my sell right here to enter the buy on few accounts, but I didn't enter the buy on this particular 25K account. So that was that for GU, which was so disheartening. So the second new trade I took for the week, I recorded everything actually, but like I said, I couldn't hear the audio anymore. So the second trade I took for this week was this JP, this JP. Um, I was using this daily key level because market was a resistance on support. So I actually have a good push here. I saw the analysis saying this zone. This is another very good level, key level, and also obviously I was looking for to target this liquidity above at least just to get my 1 to 3 half. So yeah, so I actually took my time to wait for market opening to spark into this my entry. I've been waiting since afternoon on this setup. So it's actually giving me my confirmation around 12 o'clock. So I took the trade and it was eventually going really well. Like at 1 hour. Because I think it was around this time also I slept because of GU. So before I woke up, I saw it back at my entry and it spiked up again. So seeing this candle closing bearish, I just know that this trade is a losing setup. So I had to close that. While I was recording, the trade was I was at my entry. But I cannot just pause. You get I just finished the recording I was doing, and by the time I was finished recording that section, it was a very big spike actually. It has spiked down here and I have no other choice but to close at loss. So probably this is going to be like 0.3 how losses on this transparency account because I think I lost about $50. So you're losing about $50 on a potential $250 this is more like I'm losing 0.2 how. Yeah, 0.2 how. Or let me just say yeah, 0.2 how. So the GU sale was $75, which was about let's just say 0.3 how. So which means I've lost 0.5 how. Why while taking a trade on GU and JP, but it was the losses happened to minimize like that because of I was able to cut my loss short. So that was what happened on this JP. And if I've not closed it, I would have eventually hit SL. So that was that on JP. So the last trade I took for the week was on BTC. Yeah, which was obviously an hell for the week too. So this is what I did differently. Since previous week I was just down 4%. So I said to And considering how I was able to cut my losses short this week and market being really been, I don't even know how to put it. So I just decided to risk the remaining $120 to actually make my losses to be 1 half because I'm not going to lie to you. I took this BTC setup on Thursday. I was really no, is it Thursday? Yes, it was on. Okay, it was on Thursday. Yeah, it was on Thursday. I took the setup, so I hit SL on Friday. Yeah, I hit SL on Friday. I took it on Thursday. I hit SL on Friday. It's SL on Friday. So I'm not going to lie to you. Before I took this BTC, it has been really draining for me, trading wise, because I saw this analysis here. You have it on the screen. I saw this analysis here. Why it was still at here? It's with a four-inch close. But because I'm not the kind of trader that are so eager to take the first change, like the first shifts, I just want to partake in the continuation because I really know to partake in the continuation than picking the first reversal. Most times I might actually get tons trying to take the first reversal. So so I saw this setup. I actually took it. No, I didn't take it. Sorry. I saw the setup, I analyzed it, but because it was just like the first time I'm expecting PTC to eventually say, let me just wait for more candles. I saw the confirmation. I saw the confirmation here too on this particular analysis. I saw the confirmation. So I took this on my other account. I took this on my other account. So on this 25K account was when I was not damn sure. Okay, yeah, I think BTC is ready to do what I want because I was still a bit skeptical about this one. So when I saw it, I saw this my um I'm mitigating this my breaker block here. So I actually picked my entry from here. I actually picked my entry from here and I put my SA at this up here. So and I was obviously in profit for a while before market reversed back on me. And then I eventually hit my head while here and obviously on Friday the trade still went my way and it's really draining. It's really draining. So which means for this week I recorded about minus let's just say minus 1.1.3 half or yeah, 1.3 hour loss. No, $50. Yeah, that's 1.2 hour. Yeah, 1.2 hour or 1.25 hour loss for this week, which is really really draining. And the annoying part is there's this. It's now though I've always been a big believer of that I know of that quote in trading the zone, which where we have this say that have you ever found yourself where you why you actually took a losing trade and you leave a winning trade? I think that is practically what happened to me this week. I had this week, as far as this week is concerned, I had my winning trades, I had my losing trades. But then this is me finding my path finding path on my losing trades and leaving my winning trades. So that was that, and it's really painful. But I still believe in BTC selling. I still believe in BTC selling. I still believe in GU selling. I actually look forward to next week to see how I can probably capitalize on it, because as far as BTC is concerned, I'm not going to invest until we get to this low here, which is 61,000. I can engage the sale here, but I've been too burnt. So I'm just going to wait till next week for more volatility. Because obviously I cannot take a trade on my FundingPips account. I'm just going to wait till next week for more volatility and look for means to engage the sale here. That if it matches my model. So which means on this week I took a 3 setup, and overall I lost about 1.2 hour on them. Yeah, about 1.2 hour on them. So GU, I won't have lost GU if only I didn't check it out. I'll put it out. If only I didn't check it out, I won't have lost on GU. GU will have even been my first running setup that is running at 1 hour. Likewise, JP, I took a setup on JP to the virtual ended that went to BTC. So what are my winning setup for this week that I didn't take? The winning setup for this week that I didn't take is still going to be on that US oil I talked about. You can see US oil actually doing so well. Like, even though I never thought it was going to hit this target, it is 1 to 3. It actually did it, which will have covered all my losses for this week, or even giving me if I've taken that US oil on Monday, I might have found myself not really taking any trade again for the week, because obviously I was down 4%, and that trade giving me 3 half, it will have been something so marvelous that I'm not going to actually look forward to take another setup. So this trade too, it's not my peer. I don't trade EU again. I just trade only GU, because I know um lots of correlation. Anything that goes on with GU goes on with EU. So I don't want to find myself in a situation that I'm saying set up on EU. I'm not saying set up on GU. Like in terms of correlation, I don't want a situation that I'll say set up on the two of them at the same time, because yeah, you can say set up on the two of them at the same time. You take the two of them, and if you hit SL, you hit SL on the two of them. So which means double losses. And I don't want to be someone that just splits my response using 0.5 there, using 0.5 there. So I naturally love GU price action than EU price action. So as I said, I just analyzed this setup for a friend of mine. So, and it's amazing to see, because I saw the entry here. I saw the entry. I was telling him that we could have taken a risk entry from here at the close of this candle. At the close of this candle, we could have taken a big one. But he was skeptical about this other block that you can buy. Even this other block, he was skeptical about it. But I was like, okay, we don't want to do it that way. Let's wait. Market is eventually going to pull back into this zone, which market actually did. It tapped in here. Yeah, it tapped in here. I don't know whether it backed out when it started saying some rejection, but if it didn't back out, then it will have done 1 to 3. And me that analyze the setup, you have joined in. Yeah, it will have actually be a good thing for me too. And like as BTC, the first move that I said I saw here, if I actually engage it, I think this was on Wednesday too. Yeah, this was on Wednesday. If I've actually engaged the BTC confirmation I saw here, with this first entry here, leaving this second entry, leaving the third entry, if I engage on this first one, I might have not have any reasons to say I want to engage on this one. So which means to a great length this week, I failed myself, not technical analysis. I failed myself. So I hope next week we get better. So this is P&L for this week. I'm sorry that I'm just be recording this video today, but like I said, I actually did show every process along the way, but the audio was not enabled. Thank you. See you next week. So, like I said, next week I'm see. My goal is still to sell GU, BTC, JP, even gold. So next week, since I'm down 5% on my account, so next week I still have about 2% to risk. So which means I apparently have just to set up to take next week, just to set up. If I lost the two setup, then that means I'm back to risking 0.5. So probably I can get the account back to it's like I can get the account back to 6% and 6% drawdown. Okay, guys. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. See you guys next week.